Hey, welcome back to Ready State. We are on part 3 of our Rotational Intolerance series. I want to give you a couple more ideas about things you can do in your warm-up. Now look, we try to be agnostic about the way you train. I think that you know the best way to train yourself, and if you're coaching a community, you know the best way to train them. If you're working with a sport, you know the best way to get those athletes prepared for your sport. But we think that in the warm-up period, there's a great opportunity to put in some movement and movement tolerance. Now, we've been talking about what happens if that knee ends up in an open position. And one of the things that drives this potentially is loss of dorsiflexion. So one of the things we see a lot, people are like, hey, do I have an ankle range of motion problem? So clearly we should be able to pistol, we think, right? That's something reasonable. But you can test this if you ask people to squat, any squat width, narrow, wide, whatever. Ask them to squat and notice if the torso comes forward. This is a pretty good indicator of I'm using my hips to hide my ankles. If I ask you now to keep the spine in that mid-range position, don't change your spine position, can you get your knees forward and torso up? What you'll see is that people can't. They'll end up using their backs to solve this problem. So a quick drill is from this bottom position. Now, keep that stable. Can we get the torso upright into this bottom shape? I don't even have to go deeper. But notice if I can't get my feet, if I can't get my knees to come forward in this position, it's clearly an ankle issue. Okay, that's near here and there. But if I have to turn my feet out to get to that depth, then potentially I'm always exposing this knee to this issue. So one of the ways to remediate this, we've talked about some other models. This one comes from our friends Scotty Hobson and Haley Hobson, of looking at from pivotal coaching, and it's about just simply using some rotation. So rotate, just touch and rotate. And what we're doing is we're basically creating a fixed object, closed torque environment, and then rotating the body. So I guess this is sort of open chain. So what's happening is I'm asking the body to account for the rotation all the way through, which allows me to have full internal rotation, full external rotation of the hip, but independently that knee's gonna get caught in there. So I can touch, and I can even just touch back and forth. And in this position, I'm getting a ton of the winding we're after. But what's interesting about this position is this looks a lot like our 27 squat drill, inspired by Gary Gray, sharpened up by Yami Tikkanen of the training plan. And if you've seen the 27 squats that we love on this drill, is that we do some squats with the feet straight, we do some squats with the feet out, and we do some squats with the feet in. And what we see is that this foot in squat with the arches engaged, balanced foot, asks a lot of rotation back at the knee. It starts to rebuild that. What will end up happening is that athletes will get only so far, but we're creating that counter rotation, moving into a more stable position and just exposing the knee in this various shapes. So this 27 squat drill, for those of you who haven't seen, feet straight, one squat, feet out, one squat, feet in, one squat. Take a stagger stance, feet straight, feet out, feet in. And pretty soon you see, oh, I'm just exposing the tissues to great positions, mechanically sound positions, with a variety. And what we see is that when we start to add spin drills one day, we do some taps the other day, we work on squatting into some really terrible shapes, a lot of this can go to mitigate that lack of rotational tolerance, likely caused by the ankle in the first piece. Hopefully that helps you untangle some of this. Hey, my knee hurts when I try to get my feet straight squat. See you then.